So today we'll start with a use case diagram. See, the use case diagram Basically, this use case diagram is one kind of platform by which you can provide some common understanding, some common functionality, or you can give some idea, common understanding about your end users, your developers, and your whatever your system is about. So it is basically used to capture the basic functionality like use cases and the users who are going to use those functionality or the functionality the functionalities which are available to those users. That is nothing but the actors for a given problem statement or for a given system. So it is used to capture the basic functionalities, and it is just to represent, you can say, it is one kind of graphical representation, or uh, you can say the global view about your system, that how your actors are involved in the system and what actions they are going to perform or they can perform for your system. So it defines the functions on the basis of these actors and actions. So we'll see that how how we can identify these different actors, different use cases for a given system, or how we can associate between those use cases of using those different types of relationships, and basically how to draw this use case diagram. Starting with this actor, the there are many different things which we can consider in this, mainly in use case diagram: actor, use case, or the system, and your system boundary, and all those things. So this use case is nothing but one kind of graphical overview of your functionality which are provided by your system, and those functionalities are nothing but, you can say, different kind of actions which user can take, and which is concerned with this particular system for which you are going to develop your use case diagram, and you have to show the different actors and dependencies among the actors and use cases. So this actor can be defined as one object, or you can say the set of objects who is external to the system and who is going to interact with that system to get some meaningful work uh, for himself or herself. So these actors can be human, device, or it can be any other system. So basically they are one individual who is involved with that system, and they have some particular rules. Now this you can say that, say for example, the customer who is going to withdraw some cash from the ATM, so we can say that customer is a human actor for that system. Then there are two types of actors basically in use case diagram: primary actor and supporting actor. So what's that primary actor? So they are the principal users of the system who fulfill their goal by availing some service from the system. Say a customer who is going to withdraw some cash from the ATM, so that customer is the primary actor, basically the principal user of the system. Now the supporting actor. So supporting actor renders some kind of service to the system, like bank representatives. So bank representatives are responsible for handling the refilling of the stock of cash in an ATM. So we can say that uh, the the individuals who are not, you can say, the who are having the primary importance of in that system are represented as the supporting actor, and basically the primary actors are shown on the left side of the diagram and supporting actors are shown in the right side of the diagram. Is it now clear? Okay. So the primary actors are the principal actors or principal users of the system, and they are basically shown at the left side of the diagram, and supporting actors are shown on the right side of the diagram. Okay. Now, the next one is the use case. So, use case is simply, you can say, a functionality which is provided by a system. My voice is clear now? Yes. Okay. Okay. So, a use case is basically simply a functionality provided by your system. A use case describes how actors uses a system to accomplish a particular goal, and they are typically initiated by a user to fulfill goals, describing the activities and variants involved in attaining that goal. uh, in ATM system, like withdrawing cash is your functionality. Okay, that you can say a goal of that actor, of a customer, of a user. So therefore, that withdraw cash is your use case. Then here in this particular example, you can see the browse book, purchase book are some of the functionalities which are performed by the user. So that is also the types of use cases. Now coming to the subject. So subject is simply the system under consideration. Use cases apply to a subject. In this example, you can say that this bookstore is your subject for which you are going to develop this use case diagram, and this is your system boundary. Okay, in which you are having all those functionality of your system, which is provided by that system that you have to show in that. So we can have the multiple use cases inside that system boundary, and we have to associate all those use cases with that particular actors. Now we have to show the actor with a stick figure like this in use case diagram, and the name of the actor is written below it. A use case is represented with an ellipse, and name of the use case is written inside it. The subject is written like this by drawing a one rectangle, which is nothing but a system boundary, and that label for that system could be could be written inside it. Then use cases are drawn, as I told you, inside this particular rectangle, this boundary, and actors are drawn outside of that rectangle. So use case is triggered by an actor, and actors and use cases are connected through this binary association, indicating that two of them communicates through message passing. Okay, some message is passed like that, that we have to represent this thing graphically here like this way, and actor, whatever the actor is there, that must be associated with at least one use case in your diagram, and similarly given use case must be associated with at least one actor. This association among the actors uh, this association, or you can say the actors can be generalized, that customer is there or some person is there, so person can be the customer or person can be the bank staff. So that thing, that we'll see the generalization thing. So this is how you have to represent the actors and use cases in your use case diagram. Then how to draw a use case diagram. So to draw any use case diagram, you have to first identify the actors, the users of the system. Then for each category of users, identify all the roles which are played by that system, played by that users. Then identify what are the users required the system to be performed to achieve these goals. Then create use cases for each and every goal, basically the functionality of your system. Then structure the use cases, prioritize, review, and validate the users. Now, there are three types of relationship exist among use cases: include relationship, extend relationship, and use case generalization. So the include relationship, starting with this include relationship, I use to show the common behavior that are shared by multiple use cases, and the time to use this include relationship is after you have completed the first cut description of all your main use cases. You can now look at the use cases and identify common sequences of user system interaction. So you can say the include relationship here, the send mail functionality is there, reply to mail functionality is there. So say for example the mail application system is there, and a user can send new mail, reply to new mail, forward the mail whatever he or she has received. So each of this requires first of all the login feature. Okay, user must be logged in to perform the different kinds of actions related to like sending mail, replying to mail, or forwarding the mail. So instead of having the individual, you can say the individual part of code for that individual functionality, we can have this common behavior, and so that we have represented it with this login. Okay, login use case. So this send email, reply to email, forward email, all of this include this login feature, login use case. So we can say that when we are showing this include relationship, the base use case is incomplete without this use case, without this second use case. Okay, that is shown here, that this use case 2 is the part of this use case 1. To done this functionality use case 1, to done the functionality of use case 1, we need to have this functionality. We need to first complete the use case 2. So this could be considered, this include relationship could be considered analogous to writing functions in a program in order to avoid the repetition of writing the same code again and again. And we can call such functions from different points within the program. Like this login feature, we can use by calling it from different functions: send, email, reply to email, or first of all, if you want to just check your email. Same way, here also, the place order or cancel order needs login in the system. Then after we can perform anything which we want to do. This include relationship is represented by dashed arrow, and dashed arrow from this base use case to the included use case which we have included. Then checkout functionality. So to check out, we first have to scan item. All of this needs to be done. Scan item, calculate total and tax and pay. So this is we can represent after we have just first of all represent our main use case. Then we can identify that what are the other functionality that needs to be done to complete this functionality, and we can add those sequence. After that, the extend relationship. So they are used to represent variation to your existing use case. Here, as I told you that uh, you can say this use case is incomplete without this. Similarly, here it is not that this use case will be incomplete if this is not there. Okay, this itself is complete. An extending use case is effectively an alternate course of the base use case. The extend use case accomplishes this by conceptually inserting additional action sequences into the base use case sequence. If we want to add something, some new functionalities, some additional functionalities to be specific, then we can use this extend relationship. So, returning the book, but first of all, we are checking that if your book is damaged or not. So those type of additional thing we can show using the extend relationship, and it will point to your base use case. And in this, it is pointing to your second use case, which you have included. After that, there's registration. So at the registration desk, you can say you would get some help or some kind of information about your system, about your registration or anything. So we can extend that use case. After that, book ticket feedback. So book ticket is itself a complete use case, but we have some additional functions, additional use case like feedback, which is extending that particular use case. Same way, the field form is having get help. Okay, so these are some of the examples of this extend use cases, extend relationship, and it is also shown by the dashed arrow. Now the generalization relationship. So generalization relationships are used to represent the inheritance between your use cases. The this is say raw polygon is your general use case, which is the abstract. Okay, we are not having clear idea about that particular functionality. So we can say that we can use this generalization relationship to uh, to uh, to make it more specific, that what that particular type of use case is, what are the different types of that use case can be possible. So we can say that it is also used to represent the inheritance between those use cases, that a derived use case is more specialized in terms of functionality. It has all which it has already inherited from that base use case. So in this, we are allowing user to draw polygons. So we could have a use case draw polygon. Then now rectangle is a particular instance of that polygon having four sides at right angles to each other. So the use case draw rectangle inherits the properties of the use case draw polygon and overrides its drawing method. Okay, so this is an example of generalization relationship. Similarly, you can say a generalization relationship exists between this draw rectangle and draw square use cases. Okay, and this generalization relationship is shown by this solid arrow here. Now here also this vehicle is there, so we have just derived the use cases or children, you can say. This is your base use case and this is your derived use cases, car and bus. So they are having the similar functionalities which they have inherited from this base use case. And this kind of thing we can show using generalization relationship. So the if we compare all this, then extend relationship, you can say that is the optional thing. It is having whatever the extend use case is there, that is the optional behavior is there, and the base use case in that extend scenario is complete by itself. So extended use case you can say is an option. Same way, if we talk about include, then that is the mandatory thing. Okay, the base use case in that include relationship is incomplete by itself. You need to complete that included use case. Okay, that is the mandatory thing. Included use case is required to perform that base use case functionality. And this generalization, so here the base use case is a abstract use case. Okay, and we can inherit its functionality for our derived use case. Okay, so we'll see some examples. So for whenever you are given with any system, you have to first identify the actors. uh, like you can identify the actors by uh, by getting answer of the questions like who is getting most of the benefits, most of the advantages from this system. So you can get the answer of your primary actors, that these are the primary actors who is getting the benefit from this system. Then also the person or the object who are keeping the system working, like who is going to make inquiry for your system or make inquiry about your system, anything, plan trip uh, or withdraw cash or book ticket or whatever. So the person who are keeping your system working are also your actors. Then as I told you that the actor can be the person, the human being also, some other device also. Okay, some hardware or software that is also going to say interact with your system. So that can also be the actor. So first of all, you have to identify your actors for your given system. Then once you identify your actors, you have to identify their goals, that what are the functionalities they need to perform or what are their goals for this particular system that they want to obtain for this system from this system. And that is nothing but your use case. Okay, so after identifying your actors, the second thing is you need to identify the goals of their actors. the functionality which they want from this system, and so that you can have your different kinds of multiple use cases for your system. And the use cases name should be start like make inquiry, check balance, make payment, cancel trip. It should be like this way. Okay, so keeping all those things in mind, like identifying actors, use cases, we have to determine the system boundary. That this is our system boundary in which we are having this many use cases. These are the actors, and we have the well-defined purpose or goal for each of these individual actors, and the use cases which we have identified, they have some meaningful work to done for that particular actors of our system. We have shown the association. We have to show association between the actor, between the use cases, and keep in mind that there should not be any actor or use case floating without any type of connection. Okay, each use case must be associated with at least one actor. Similarly, an actor should have at least one association, one connection with at least one use case. And then we can enhance that by showing include extended relationship, generalization relationship. So here in this particular example, travel agency, the customer is one actor, the agent, travel agent is one actor. Customer is performing the functionalities like make inquiry. So these are the use cases: make inquiry, plan trip, select trip, and finalize it, make payment. Now this make payment includes receive ticket. First of all, we are going to receive ticket, then the payment is done. After that, you can also enhance that payment can be done via card or done via cash. Cancel trip includes get refund. After that, agent is one another actor who is having the functionality like provide inquiry details, give different trip details, receive payment, cancel trip, and these are the extended things for this particular use cases. Similarly, library management system. So librarian is your the primary actor. Now here, the things he or she is going to do is issue book. Issue book includes register member. Only the registered member is allowed to issue some book. Then verified member check availability of that book. Then he is also responsible for managing all the return of that books and everything. Calculate fine if you have returned the book after its due date, maintaining the books or records or anything else. And member is also going to inquiry or make inquiry to be specific about this particular system or returning book, issue the book, etc. And this is the hospital management system. As I told you, these actors are also having the generalization relationship, like in-house consultants. Uh, Doctors can be the in-house or they can be consultants. Then finance management system can be, you can classify them as income or expenditure. Calculate fine should be extended. Calculate fine. Yes, if you want to say it's different perspective. It perspective can be changed like person to person. If you see that it is not a mandatory thing, then you can make it extend relationship. Okay, and if you make it a compulsion, then also it's fine that it's going to first, for every case it's going to check whether this book is written after its due date, or so it can be up to you. You can make it extend also. Yeah, calculating fine is only after due date. पर आप जब बुक रिटर्न करोगे तब लाइब्रेरियन वुड चेक दैट आपने ड्यू डेट से पहले रिटर्न की है या बाद में रिटर्न की है. अगर बाद में रिटर्न की है ड्यू डेट के बाद, देन ही इज गोइंग टू मेक यू पे द फाइन. Okay, so that's why they have just shown it like this way. But as per you are saying that extend is also the, I guess, the more applicable scenario for this particular written book and calculate fine. So the doctors here are generalized as in-house doctors and consultants. They can be of different types. Okay, so the actors are also having the generalized relationship. Similarly, the finance management system, income and expenditure. Then there are record system, information system, receptionist, staff, or all those things, and they are having this different kinds of functionalities, different kinds of use cases which are shown for their functionalities which they have to perform. So that's all about the use case. Now you have to draw a use case for NGO management system. Then you can upload it as a part of your assignment. But currently you have to draw that. Now, use case diagram for NGO management system.